Everybody, welcome to another episode of The Creators Outlet. Please subscribe, comment, and share, and join us over at youtube.com/C/Creators Outlet to subscribe, join, and comment, and share, and tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. Just a reminder, this is TVML, MA, and NSFW, and all that other happy horse shit. We welcome Chubb, the creator of the Merry Boys. Welcome, sir.
Hi, I will. Sorry, other hand. There we go. People can see me. And let's see.
There we go.
The chat. Bristolian Dave.
Oh,
we're in the same city. Like I'm streaming on with somebody from across the world, and here's somebody in my own city going, "Hello, me babbers."
Bollocks. Fuck Bristolian Dave showing off his copy of The Sin Killer. I haven't gotten mine yet. Damn it.
I saw that. Yeah, I like that. That looks really good on that.
Yeah, I ordered the retailer tier, so I have like 10 copies and swag coming my way. So
oh wow, okay.
I was excited and I had extra money. I'm like, I've been waiting 2 years for this book, talking to Marv for 2 years about this book. I go, I'm sick of talking about this book. I don't want to read this friggin' book. So I'm like,
I'm gonna read it 10 times. I want the retail tier.
This is all I got, but I'm gonna send them in. I'm probably gonna get one of them graded. I'll get one graded, so he'll first time creator from Portugal will have a book on the graded market there.
I'm a bit of a noob. Not a noob. I don't understand like the whole collector's market where you slab it, right? You slab it, you get a grading on it, and there's this organization that puts a grading on it, and that is that then part of a separate market? Is that how it works?
Well, it's a sucker market because no two people are going to grade a book exactly the same. So it's just a guesstimate of what it is. But like CGC has an index where they'll put up, you can look up a title on their index and it'll tell you how many copies of those there are in existence, of 10.0s, 9.8s, and so on down. It'll tell you how much the GMT is going for on it for like sold or traded for each one, and this is the new speculator market. So it's like they all tune into all the speculator shows and the app there.
Right.
There's that app that does the the thing. They do the thing.
They do the thing. I know that I'm part of a lot of EC comics groups, and those guys are very much into their slabbing and into their collections. And those I've been watching the prices of those things go up.
The old ECs, yeah. Well,
original ECs.
I can see the point in wanting to get like gold and silver age and like early bronze stuff. Especially if it's a key issue, graded, because especially like those EC books, they deteriorate. They weren't made out of the greatest stuff. So, you get it slabbed and keep it safe that way. But all these people, they're slabbing every modern book that comes out.
Yeah.
Like, 500 covers of this one or that one. Marvel trying to brag that we've sold, 100,000 copies of Moon Knight #1. He goes, yeah, but to do it, Marvel had to release 36 covers.
Yeah, well, it's the stores have to pay for all that.
Yeah,
just because they can get the 38th special cover that they only get if they order as many of the other variant covers. Yeah, I've heard of all those shenanigans.
Yeah, It's so ridiculous.
Yeah,
So it'll be nice when I can show off my Mary Boy's beef heads before you too.
Matter of time. Yeah. I just want to get it done. It's I've got everything penciled out. I've got all the final pencils on it, so it's just sitting down and inking it now. It's the last bit of the process. It's lettered too. It's just a question of slotting in the pages as I finish them. But yeah, I'm just busy. It's got the day job. I've got everything else to worry about. But it's gonna get done. I just wish it could. But when you get into it, and that's all you can think about. When you're at work now, it's just like you're just constantly thinking about the campaign. You're constantly thinking about the book. You so badly just want to spend all your time doing that. But yeah,
yeah. Until one of us hits a lottery, yeah. Man, I could really use a lottery right about now.
Yeah, no, that's it. But well, it's one of those things. And also, like, you can't. Another thing about this is that with the whole crowdfunding thing, if it had come along when about 10 years ago or so, it would have made more sense for me. I just would have had more time and all that. But yeah, you can't time these things. Things just fall together. When they do, and you just got to ride it when you can. You just got to work hard and just got to take advantage, and make the most of it.
Yeah, I know. I went in on Arya's campaign there. Because we were talking before. I went in when he launched on Red Valkyrie. I grabbed the Red Valkyrie special tier that he put up for like 24 hours because it had everything in it that I wanted. And it got me it got me the figure, it got me like the patch that was only available like that first 24 hours and a bunch of other stuff. And he goes, did you sign up on the list? I go, yeah. He goes, oh, well then you have a card and a folding poster coming from me and Mike Jimmy because you backed both campaigns. Great. I got Mike Jimmy's campaign in. Guess what? Mike Jimmy forgot to pack in my campaign box. The crossover. He drew Arya's tailless spaceship doing like an orbit run or something around Korra from his life on Korra. So that was like the back both, and you get like a special card and a special A4 poster. I'm like, cool. I like that. I like more stuff. And Mike Jimmy forgot his. I'm like, okay, put a little post-it note on the one you were supposed to give me with my name on it. And when I back Life on Korra 5, I will get it.
You should just post it out to you. You should just post it to you.
Good stuff. Hail. Crack pack air date bow. Fuck Danny and Halo. Yeah. Indeed, fuck Danny. Fuck Danny.
So it goes.
But it's but with everything that I got, I also got the card that you did for him.
Yep.
And I got the card that Max Hedstrom did. Or we'll get if Arya ever finishes penciling.
Oh, he better. I mean, he's only a few kilometers away from me. I can get on the train and go get my bloody book.
Just throw a sheep in his house. He'll.
Well, that'll keep him busy. Then he'll never get the bloody book finished.
Yeah, 30 seconds isn't a long time. Just ask his colorist.
Oh dear. Yeah.
So, hey, why don't you start us off by playing the video so we can take a look at the Indiegogo video for this project.
Before I start playing it, so the title track was done by 6 a.m. Comics, Mark Marinelli.
Nice.
He's doing Starfetched. Probably the most talented guy in CG. He does everything. He does animation, he does websites, he does rap videos, he does comics, he does everything. And it's just a shout out to him because he did such an amazing job on this. And that's me.
Never far from a bloodstained panel. Heading to the bar with my brothers holding hip to metal. I smell sinners and I swear I'm running out of cheeks. Father, forgive me, but my tolerance is getting weak. Should I flatten them out or should I take a shot? Bottoms up before I pile up some body parts. The devil's in the bottle, so I guzzle from a glass. With every sip, I feel like taking out the city's trash. A fit job for a quad around and dumpster babies. We cheated death, it's only fair that we replenish Hades. Or we can pray and repent and let God's order. I'd rather make a confess and go to war on them. First do the perfect step for the proper sequel. This proper piece of comics, Mary boys, there is no equal. Despite our mothers, what's intentions, even walk the valley and cast a shadow with death, the wickedness surrounding. Just want to go to the tavern and pound a couple lagers.
That's such an English title for your comic print.
Yeah,
it's proper comics. It is
proper comics. What it implies that all the other comics aren't proper comics, which is a bit cheeky, but it is a bit cheeky. Yeah, the whole outlook of it is a bit cheeky. But also I wanted PC in the title, like it isn't politically correct because it's bloody isn't.
It'll make those haters buy the book and goes, oh, it's PC.
Yeah. But that's one of the things. It's like I never even considered ever, submitting this to a publisher, because I thought there's absolutely no bloody way in hell in this climate anybody would touch that. It is made for crowdfunding and it's made for direct consumer. It just is. Nobody, that's just how it is. At every single turn, there's somebody who's going to find something problematic about my comic books. So yeah, that's just, it's like do or die. There's no other way. I've basically locked myself into a certain trajectory, and I just gotta see it through.
They find something inappropriate about every one of my shows. I was talking to Chris Fisk, the creator of Infinitale Chronicles. He ended up being a double guest, and the show went like 4 hours long.
Oh wow!
And, the last 90 minutes was us just telling extremely inappropriate stories and jokes. Maybe even jokes that might be considered on the ist list. But
those words don't mean anything anymore. All the ist, because it's been so abstract now.
Yeah, everyth's an ist. All right, we just got the Indiegogo link in the chat. Of course, it's in the show notes up above or down below. So over here, stateside has you sitting at 9,290 USD. Of course, it's different over there. But 127 backers, 1,363% of the goal, 18 days left. And so you're doing good, but we want to do better because
it's doing so much better than the first one. At a similar time, because I got the benefit at least people know about me and the characters. I mean, I think that's also the benefit of doing legacy characters. Mm-hmm. We don't just do a one and done. Where you carry on with them, which is always the intention. It's one story just build. It just the knowledge. It just builds on to every success of a campaign. It can also have a downside, of course. If people didn't like it the first time, they'll be like, Mary boys again. I'm definitely not backing it this time again. I've given you my money last time, and I was disappointed. So it's a double-edged sword, but it seems to be working for me. So let me just go through the tiers. So it's the basic book tier, which is this. It's a 74-page comic book with 72 pages of actual comics. And that's a standard cover. Then I've got another tier, which is the variant cover with the cathedral wraparound. And then I've got this one, which is quite popular, which is the lager tier, which has got, if you back the first campaign, It's got all the new stuff on it, and it's a little bit cheaper than what it would be buying them individually, because on each of these tiers, these items are also present as add-ons. So when you check this out, there'll be like a list of these items over there that you can select for your basket. And this tier, so it's got two comics with both variant covers. It's got the embroidered patch. It's got the making of booklet, which is going to have thumbnails, character sketches, notes, everything that I put together and didn't chuck in the bin for the making of this book, and some notes for just because I'll throw in some British cultural references and just a few notes and things so people who aren't UK based will understand what I meant by what I said. It is quite understandable. I just it'll be nice just to talk about some references. And here's a set of 3 art prints. So it's the 2 virgin covers without any logos or anything, and this Father Parish riding a pig print. Let me see if there's a bit of...
And who doesn't want to frame that and hang it up in the kitchen next to the Last Supper?
This one. Yeah, it's I don't know. I don't know who wouldn't want to do that. Good question. Good point. Yeah, no.
And of course, you want the lager patch for the lager that the Merry Boys drink.
Yeah, and it's become the creed, because I told Mark Marianelli, 6 AM Comics, I said, when you do a track, just work in like Born, like track Born Slippy, where and the chorus is lager, 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 shout, sing. I said do it with stomping, but I expected the same sort of rhythm, but he came in with this, that was on the title track, and it sounds so much better. So it's a nice mantra, which I think I'll keep for future reference. And of course, people who didn't back the first campaign, I've still got a few boxes of these comics, so you can buy them on this campaign as add-ons. So,
and both of those books done as one add-on, or is it?
It's both as one add-on. Only sell them as sets.
Okay.
And lastly, this is the stretch goal. So if we hit £10,000, about 13,700 USD, then I'm going to be doing a big sticker of this crest and logo for every backer.
I would get that as a tattoo.
Big back tattoo. I think I'll tweak the arts a little bit, but it's pretty much done. Yeah, I thought I like something like that.
Yeah, I would just I'd snapshot that and send it to my tattoo guy. Go, hey, draw this up exactly how it is, and figure out how you can work that in and cover up some of my old garbage tats. Okay.
Brilliant.
I really like the cathedral wraparound cover, man.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a fairly even split. Normally, you see, I thought there'll be like maybe a few people who get the cathedral, but it's almost it's quite close, 40 to 53. I thought, okay, yeah,
it's not that it's not that different apart, but I mean, the big pack is 60 GDP over there. It's I think it's what, $82 here,
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard somebody say, like, always do that. Have like an entry level thing, but then later on, because there will be people who want to show more support, who just have to have all the bits. Do that and give them some sort of incentive to back it. So I thought, okay, well, that looks like a nice package to send out. Plus, I mean, you have to justify the postage. It isn't as bad from here to the US as the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
So but still it's a lot of postage to charge for so you've got to make it worth the while and chuck a lot of stuff in there to entice people. That's still the big thing that we have to get over in crowdfunding, or comics app, and crowdfunding in general is just finding some sort of distribution model, reaching more people, and make and be able to have cheaper prices and have it available everywhere. If we can crack that, then we'll be singing.
Yeah, if there's a way to lower the prices, I mean, it's like most of the CG books that come out, like yours, which is yours is kind of like anthology style with the multi-story, but it's still over 50 pages. An average trade from the mainstream is like around that same price, so it's competitive. So it's like, but I don't know who those characters are. I go, well, at one point you didn't know who like Wolverine was, but you read it and you're like, oh, cool, claws.
Yeah.
And it's like, these guys are more relatable. Okay, nobody over here has a cricket bat, but I know what a cricket bat is because I watched Shaun of the Dead, so I'm good. I knew what it was before. Saw it on Doctor Who, but I mean, these could be me and my friends just sitting around getting trashed on any given afternoon. Not currently, but about 15 years ago, yeah. We show up to work at the clubs in the afternoon, and we get the waitress to pretend that she was delivering drinks to the guy sitting next to the DJ booth, and she was in turn delivering them to me. So, yay!
Yeah, no, we've all been there. We've all been. I had my wild time as well. Now I'm more of a family man. Day job, mortgage to pay, all that stuff. So you can't do it anymore. But everybody's had that experience to a degree.
Oh yeah, I had one bender. It lasted about 10 years.
It just didn't stop.
Well, it's like you're single, you're a disc jockey at a strip club. Fuck it. I'm like, man, I should have listened to my mother and actually banked all that money. I would I would have owned my own home. So,
or your own strip club.
I don't want to own one of those. I was friendly with a small handful of the girls I worked with over the years, and I still talk to maybe 5 of them. I talked to a lot of the bouncers I worked with and was friends with. I talked to all of them. I talked to all the bartenders, through social media. Not regularly, be like they'll post it on, hey, how you doing? Nice picture, bye. There's a couple of them I'm more friendly with that I talk to on a regular basis, but that's it. I'm all set.
Yeah.
I'm like, do I miss it? Yeah. I spent almost 4 years going through detox of not seeing scattered boobs and butts all day long. I'm like, oh God, I miss the money. Is it just the money? No, shut up.
It's the things around the money.
It's the things around the money. And going into a store and buying a new leather jacket or something with a stack of 500 singles, and they just look at you and the person counting it out is I go, you don't want to sniff that. They're like, why is this drug money? I go, no, it's stripper money. Oh my God. I go, yeah, they pay me to keep my clothes on. No, shut up and count my money and give me my coat. And and that was the end of that. The only time they weren't, that no store was ever angry at me is over the holidays, the week of Christmas, and you show up with ones and they're thrilled because either everybody's got a credit card or somebody's buying one item for $1.98 with a 50. I'm like, I used to count back and give everybody ones for change when I worked retail around the holidays. Can I not get all ones? I go, yeah, you could have not got all ones if you had given me the 20 that I saw in your wallet instead of the 50 because you wanted to change it.
Do you still get $1 notes in the US?
Yeah.
All right.
That's about all I got. One. Well, there's 3 more on the desk. I got $4 to my name. So
I've never been to the US. One day. One day I'll go there and see what it's all about. Not right now. I'll wait till change of regime.
Yeah, wait till we have a president that doesn't go to bed at 4 p.m. and ask for his pudding all the time from Bill Cosby. So
yeah. I don't know. I just
Currently, I wouldn't go here. I'm thinking the beginning of next year, possibly moving to Norway.
It's just you never know. Like, how bad is this stuff going to get? Where they stop you at an airport and say, "Hey, it's the FBI. Hey, we watched some of your videos, mate. We watched some of your videos."
I expect them to pound on my door any second. Hell, there's parents showing up to school board meetings and going off on the school board about them teaching critical race theory and teaching all this, shall we say, alphabet army sexualization in the books towards, and making the kids read them and, asking little boys on a regular basis from kindergarten up. So do you still identify as a boy, or would you like to be a girl?
Yeah, and they slip up
so
once,
now
you get dragged down to the drug center.
So now they have assigned the DOJ and the FBI to label all these parents that are asking questions because it's their kid, and the federal government and the person in charge of education here doesn't think parents should have a say whatsoever in how their kids are raised in the schools. Really? So they're identifying the parents that are showing up to these meetings and disagreeing with the school boards and labeling them as domestic terrorists. So the FBI and the Department of Justice can arrest them and throw them in a deep dark hole, like they did to people that were at Trump's rally on the Capitol on the 6th, where they threw 100 people in prison and didn't charge anybody. Like, they've charged like 2 people. Everybody else has just been sitting in prison for a year with no charges.
They shot one woman for no reason, and we all saw that in camera.
Yep.
And where's the protest march for that? Where's the outrage?
It
was cold blood. It was cold blood. Absolutely.
It's ridiculous.
No, it's just the thing is now with any reaction, there's always going to be some sort of backlash, and what I'm afraid of, is is that what's the, because every new generation wants to undo everything the previous generation has done. The new generation of kids who have been coaxed into this stuff are going to be extremely angry.
Mm-hmm. They're also going to be surprised when some old codger like me knocks their teeth 3 blocks away.
I'm saying you're going to have a lot of Republicans are red. You're going to see a lot of red resurfacing, I think, in this generation.
Yeah, at a point, a lot of people are going to get red pilled because it's just really, and they don't want to believe it. And if you mention anything about like say abortion, you have all the liberal women, especially Hollywood, all stand up and scream, "My body, my choice." I'm like,
it's not your body.
So vaccines, my body, my choice.
Yeah.
Like,
but yeah, I know. It's absolutely, it's exactly the same. It's the same story here. It's absolutely the same thing.
Hey, George, how are you, sir?
George?
To undo what happened before is basic corporate 101. Yep. We thought our parents were stupid. Every kid thinks their parents are stupid.
Yeah.
So get ready. I've already got that. My daughter just turned 13, so she knows everything, and I'm an idiot, and she complains to her mother because I watch alternative media sources because I like to hear a better view of actually what's going on. And she goes home to her mother and go, that makes me uncomfortable. He's watching right-wing propaganda again. I'm like,
what's right-wing propaganda these days?
Anything that doesn't agree with
anything that isn't extreme on the that's the problem.
Yeah, anything that doesn't agree with CNN is right-wing propaganda.
Yeah, but it's just that now you've just got different flavors of everything on the one spectrum because everything is left-wing. So it's just if you answer a really good test is this: ask somebody what would you consider to be too far left. Right? Everybody knows how far is too far right. Nobody can give you an answer on how far is when something is there anything that is not justifiable to suit the means. You know, and I run into this problem. I'll ask this question often, and very often it's like violence is justified. You know, imprisoning people, destroying people's lives, everything you can imagine is justified for the cause, whatever the cause might be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so-called equality, you know, diversity and all that. It's like a new religion, and these people are like jihadists.
Oh yeah, even like the whole Facebook crash thing. It's like either Facebook was hacked, or they did it to themselves so they could purge all their systems of all the information that they've been stealing and selling on people for, you know, since like what 2004 or 5 or whenever they came into existence. And I'm like, so the whistleblower is a far left activist. The whistleblower is being defended by the fake Trump impeachment lawyer. And she was connected to something else too. There's like a whole bunch of stuff. It's like, but everybody's like falling for it. And they're doing this as a means to get anybody that they identify as conservative off of every social media platform.
Mm.
So the government can go in and use it as an excuse to purge everybody that's not on the left off of every social media platform.
You see, you know, in a way, it'll be good if they did that. The reason being is that if you cause that massive division, then you're simply going to get somebody who just has, you know, who has the know-all and the wherewithal to create an alternative platform. And I'm not talking about the smaller ones. I'm talking about something big that can actually compete with Facebook. If they had to take that step, maybe Parler, maybe Gab or something, maybe Minds will become as big.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of sad to watch because it wasn't that long ago where everybody could just bloody get along. And I remember the 90s, you know, where everything was relatively quiet as far as politics was concerned. There wasn't upheaval. People were just getting along, and then very suddenly, bang! That was the
big paradigm shift was started with Obama. It's like, I'm going to unite the country. I'm like, no, you're not. And he didn't. He separated it like even more. George is saying the Facebook whistleblower is a red herring. She was there to boost for more censorship. Good day, homies. Hex Allen, how are you, my friend? Hope your campaign of Nephilim Squadron Volume 1 is going well. He's got that great homage cover to Maycross Volume 1 on his campaign. Right. It's very cool looking.
Everybody's got campaigns going. It's just flowering out, isn't it?
It's the fall. It's like an overabundance. Like there are. I mean, if you won the lottery today, you still couldn't justify buying every single book that you thought was really good coming out of CG right now because there's just too many.
The quality has just gone up and up and up and up.
Yeah.
You used to be able to just get by on just doing a comic and everything is fine. Now you really have to be better than the mainstream's gone backwards, but you really have to put out something quality for people to notice, to even pay any attention to. It's very true. In a way, it's good, and it's a way it just puts everybody on their toes. You know,
it's going nowhere. That's a shame.
Going nowhere. Oh no, don't say that. Put it up.
I think
give a link to it.
Yeah, I'll get a link for Hex. I think what we need is we need an army of Mary boys like all over the world, just bitch slapping anybody in a bitch. And there's plenty of them. I love how the blockchains work. One person is associated with, if you like are even friends with anybody that is like, CG, they're all using these blockchains to
it's a lonely existence, if you ask
yeah.
me.
It is.
I grew up.
It's ridiculous. They all want to be in a bubble where everybody agrees with them. But the funny thing is, it's like on our side, we can, on a normal side, like even the middle, we can agree with stuff.
Or we're just not going to tear each other's eyes out over it.
Yeah, we'll be adults about it. On the other side, there we go. There's the link for Nephilim Squadron in the chat for Hex Allen. Please go check it out for yourselves right as soon as you back Mary Boys. It's just, the funny thing is, too, is the especially the far progressive left seem to eat themselves. They'll eat their own. It's like living in a parlor of black widows.
Yeah, it's not. I think I saw, like, the Guardian newspaper, which is just just a rag basically. These days.
It's far left propaganda.
There was a big protest in front of the office, offices of these people carrying a flag, claiming that the Guardian was transphobic. They were obviously picking on something somebody had written and purposefully misinterpreted it to try and get a foothold and try and create some sort of platform for themselves to complain against an established newspaper and get their faces on the news.
Hey, we're not here to talk about me. Back to Chubb. We're back to Chubb. We just wanted to give you a shout out. And
we were talking about my stuff the whole time, and as I'm not the only guy on the block, but
and go check out follow George Peter Gastus too. He's got some great stuff.
There are loads of there's just so much. There's so much going on.
It's just I'm almost down to I really want this book. I really want this book. I really want this book. I hate digital. I'm gonna have to buy the digital.
I'm not doing a digital thing this time because it was just too much of a pain to administer.
Yeah, my only issue with digital is if you're going to charge me the same price for the digital copy as you are for the physical. I'm like, you're letting me read a computer file just so I can ingest the story. Why am I paying if it's the same price for the physical?
It's got no value. I mean, you can't resell it. You can't put it. You can't slab it.
There's zero value to digital whatsoever, and I'm just like, if you make, you got to understand too. It's like if you got to put the digital platform in for case in point, anybody in Australia, because what started as a prison island is yet again a prison island.
Yeah. Shit.
They are allowing nothing in, nothing out. Everything shut down. You leave your house, you might get beaten to death by the cops. I saw a woman on a leaked video that got beaten nearly half to death by like 8 cops with their pugil sticks because she didn't have her vaccine passport on her. She was masked up and she didn't have her passport on her. It's like, yeah, welcome to the Nazi state of the entire planet. Papers, please.
Yeah.
I'm like, they spent the last 4 years, they spent the prior administration the entire time. Trump, he's a Nazi. He's a Nazi. Really, he's a Nazi. You're the ones demanding that we all get basically chemically castrated with this moose juice that you made from baby fetal tissue provided from
The kids that you aborted.
Yeah, all the kids that you aborted.
Yeah. I mean, I got the vaccine. I got it just, don't know why. I just didn't see it as a big deal. I just went ahead and got it. But for anybody who doesn't want to get it, I don't see why they would have to, because it works, right? If it works, then surely.
Except it doesn't.
Yeah. Look, if I wanted to go out and jump off a cliff, it's my right, right? Nobody's going to stop me. No, the police aren't going to go up and stand in front of that cliff and go, "Look, you can't do that. You can't jump off that cliff." So if I didn't want to get vaccinated, I can do that. I can go and tattoo a pair of balls on my forehead if I wanted to, and nobody's going to stop me.
Well, then you would just look like Bristolian Dave.
He's got the balls on his chin.
Oh yeah.
Is he still watching? No,
well, I don't know. The ones on Dave's chin are just imprinted from all his new friends in South Wales. Means no.
I gotta go visit Dave at some point. Because the thing is that we started the whole CG UK thing during when the lockdown started. Everybody was just mooching around, and we decided to start doing shows and things. But we couldn't visit each other because of the lockdown. Now, yeah, things are open up again. Now we could, and we just haven't, because the culture's changed. With working and stuff, everybody's working remotely. People are just not leaving their bloody houses anymore.
Well, I pretty much don't leave my house anyhow. I'm in a wheelchair, so if I go in the dirt, there's a chance I might not get back out. What am I going to do? Call 911 for I need a tow. My wheelchair's stuck in the mud again. I'm like, what am I going to do? I know. I remember seeing a couple of years ago there was a chair that would actually it operated on a movable, transformable tank tread system.
It could go up steps.
Yeah, and I'm like, I go, oh man. And everybody looks at me and goes, dude, nobody's insurance is going to pay for that. Ever. I'm like, shit. But the problem is I've got skin deterioration because of all the surgeries on my legs and everything. So every time you damage the skin, the layer grows back weaker and weaker and weaker.
Yeah.
So that thing that metal piece that bolts up and locks around your lower calves, like ski boots, could in fact kill me. So I'm like, damn it, can we get it so I can just sit in the chair and not have to be stood up? I don't like the standing anymore. I'm used to
there's those you get those exoskeletons, don't you? The ones that you strap. I think it's similar. Yeah, you get this whole exosuit that they're trying with soldiers and stuff now.
Yeah, I've been seeing them on lots of people with crippling cerebral palsy and the veterans. Some of the veterans have been using them, but they've got a very limited charge on them. But still, if you're paralyzed and can't walk, and you get your husband or wife straps this thing to you, and all the equipment to you, and then unplugs you, and you can actually with the handle controls get up and walk around. That's awesome.
Yeah, psychologically that's awesome, I could imagine.
Yeah, just to be able to walk again. I'm like, I've got limited mobility. I can't walk with a cane. And I was like, why can't I walk with a cane? He goes, because canes don't do anything. Canes are psychological to people that don't think they can, walk on their own. They need the safety net. He goes, 90% of people with canes don't need anything to walk. He goes, you're a big guy. He goes, you need something to stabilize you. So you have to go out on a walk. I go, I don't want to go out in a walker. I'm not that old. He goes, you'd rather go out in a wheelchair? Yeah. Especially one that's powered.
Now, when I get older, actually, I'm already thinking of carrying a cane, but not to just to have
to have one with a sword in it. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. But you guys, you can carry guns. We can't. Like, I grew up in South Africa, and I used to have a firearm for most of my adult life. And it's just weird not having that anymore.
Yeah, you guys can't have those over there, huh?
Yeah, here we can't have them. No, you can get a hunting rifle, but you can't. Yeah, but I mean, it kind of defeats the purpose. You can keep it in your house in the safe and all that, but you can't. You're not going to carry a hunting rifle around with you. Well, I would, but
Well,
it's not
there's some of the right to carry. Some of the states out here have right to open carry.
Yeah.
And just because they have that, people are walking around like strapped to the nines, like they're like going into war with Rambo or something. And I'm like,
I don't get that, because I mean that's the first thing that you learn, like when you do your license and stuff to get your firearm, is that you don't show it to anybody, because somebody will take it off you, and then they have your firearm. They'll try it. They'll try taking it off. That's the first thing they're going to bloody do. So open carry doesn't make any sense to me. You want to conceal.
Yeah. Look, I carry, and but conceal carry, because I don't want anybody to know I have it. But if a situation comes up, like if I was out with my daughter and we were getting harassed, like anything that would endanger my child, I'm gonna kill some people.
You don't want to ruin the surprise.
I want to keep. Oh, what are you gonna do, Mr. Cripple? Boom, 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 boom. And anybody that shoots their guns like this, are idiots. It's like
you have to wear your underwear around your ankles to shoot. You don't. You know what I mean? It's like a real gangster sort of way, like that. No, there's no support. You're gonna shoot one of your friends like that.
And even worse, you're gonna break your wrist.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we're not the same. No. I saw a great meme for that. It's like we used to go to keg parties in the woods. You drink White Claw in your mom's basement. We're not the same.
Chewing on Tide Pods.
It's like you're gonna lecture me. You were eating Tide Pods like 2 years ago and dumping ice water over each other. Go away.
You play Blue Dolphin.
Oh yeah. So you've got this pretty much all in the bag. You're just doing like page inserts and.
Yeah, I got all the final pencils done. So it's all been, it's nice tight pencils. So it's literally just doing the inking now, but the inking is quite elaborate. I'm a big fan of because it's in black and white, so it doesn't help me just doing the line, just the outline, and because there's no colorist, so you got to add a lot of tonality to it to make it look good. So I'm a big fan of Jack Davis and Will Eisner, and they were really good at. I think I've gotten a little bit better at communicating form with just line work, and I've started doing ink wash, bit more just as a fill-in, just to augment what I was doing with the line work. So we're getting that. I'm really enjoying that. It's my favorite thing. Yeah. So I just wish that that's what every serious comic book creator wants, just being able to spend every single day just drawing it, and ideally also doing stuff that you wrote yourself and created yourself. Some people aren't tuned in like that. I mean, you get artists who just they want somebody else to they want to work on a specific character. I want to work on Batman, Spider-Man, whatever the case may be, or they want somebody to give them a script, and they just spend the whole day just figuring out that puzzle on the best way to present that, which is fine. But for me, it's just I could spend the next 10 years just pumping out books like this. I've got this long list of stuff I want to do, but there's no time to do it. But
yeah, you got to divide everything between the day job, the family, and comics. So yeah.
It's one of those things. But it's at least we got, like I said, it's this is some. I was published by an indie publisher before. But this is so much better. So much better. Just it's more work doing everything yourself, but it's more enjoyable. I think.
Yeah, because you do everything on this book, right?
I can't blame anything if anything goes wrong. On the other hand, when it comes out great, then I can pat myself on the back. It's just so.
And if it doesn't, it's Bristolian Dave's fault for trying to rush you so he can get his copy of Beefhead.
Yeah.
So we have 3 tiers. Cover A, the cathedral variant, or the lager tier, where you get both covers, the stomping patch, the reference behind the scenes book, and 3 art prints for 60 GDP or 82 USD. Plus, if you didn't get the first 2 Merry Boys books, you can get them as an add-on.
Yep, they're there.
And
there's a stretch goal.
And the stretch goal of the 10K stretch goal will be the Merry Boys refined sticker emblem.
Yeah,
Hail 24 Eyes, how are you, sir?
How you doing? Yeah, how's it going? Yes, I'm on his show tomorrow. I have to get up early for that, but yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah,
we're busy weekend. It's a lot I'm running a bloody I'm running a 6 mile run on Sunday too. And I wanted to watch the boxing, but that's just not going to work out. All the streaming and everything. Are you a boxing fan?
Yeah, I like the fights. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So what do you think about it's besides it being a last, like kicking a dead horse? What's your opinion on the Fury Wilder fight this weekend?
I don't have one because usually if I go into like a big elaborate what I think is going to happen thing, what happens is the fight's over in like 30 seconds. It lasted, I can't even, I didn't even see it. Like I turned to crack open a Guinness and I turned back and somebody's got their arm raised. And I was like, what the fuck? I have certain ones that I'll favor. I will not bet on anything.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, in the cage fighting, and I think just because he's such an ass, and that I'm Irish.
Conor McGregor.
Conor.
Ass and Irish. It's Conor McGregor.
People go, oh, no. Why are you an asshole? I go, fucking Irish. We were born to guzzle booze, eat fish and chips, and we're always trying to start a fight.
Mind you, I've got some really good mates who are Irish. They're just good, warm people at the same time. The ones who stick by you no matter what. And the Polish too, really, really good people. Yeah,
I talked to a couple of my mates that are over in Ireland, and they're like, "We're not all drunks. What the fuck?" I go, "Okay, what do you do? I'll be right back. What are you doing? Getting a beer." I'm like,
they're closing the pubs, but we live in pubs.
Yeah, really. The pubs are closed, but we live there.
Yeah.
Our wives know where we are all the time.
But I heard something. But look, the English are a bunch of piss monkeys as well. And I say that with the greatest love and respect ever. But somebody pointed out to me that it's, an American said that it's really strange. Did you know that in England, every house is about 5 to 10 minutes walk away from a pub? And I'm like, you're right, because I got about 8 within 10 minutes walk from my front door. I don't know if I walk back if I had a frequent all of them, but that's just the way it's set up. You've got your church, and then you've got all your drinking establishments. And many of them have closed, since the 2008 recession. Like half of them went bang, but there's still a load of them. What's it like in the US? You guys are more, the zoning is totally different there, isn't it? It's like you've got your residential areas, and then you've got your commercial areas, but you don't really have like a mix. You don't have like a high street close by with pubs and stuff close to your house. Is that right?
It's different. Like there's like a town in Rhode Island. There's like two towns in Rhode Island. One's West Warwick and the other one's Woonsocket. And Woonsocket, most of their bars have been closed down because it's nothing. 2 hours after they're open in the evening, there's like 6 cop cars there breaking up something or arresting, known felons or something. But West Warwick put all these. They converted like all these houses. They converted the zone, like they paid to convert the zoning so that they could have a small pub and build it out of the house that was there. So like down their big main road, there's like a drinking estate. Well, not now because of everything that was closed down and people all went out of business. But about 10 years ago, there would be a drinking establishment like on every block for about 6 miles.
Uh-huh.
And when I first got the power chair, I asked the guy, I go, how far can I go on a full charge? He's like, oh, because there's a bar up the corner. I go, yeah. He goes, oh, you can get there and back, no problem. The only problem is I'm not sure you're going to want to go to that bar because all the men dance together.
Oh, right. It's okay. I can't dance. I'm in the chair.
I can't dance, but even still, in a wheelchair, you're at the wrong height for just about everything that would go on in there.
All right.
I'm like, no. And there's a pizza place across the way from there that has, a bar in it, but the doors aren't wide enough to allow anybody in a wheelchair in or out. They're all like they come in like this, and then the door is like, just narrow enough for like a normal sized person to get through. I'm not normal sized, but I'm getting there. I started at 600 pounds. I'm down to 350. So, hey.
Oh, right. Okay. Wow.
That's what happens when you change your diet from ice cream, chips, soda, and beer to anything more healthy. Salads, chicken, fish, steak.
Steak, yeah.
I don't get steak that much.
Vegan. You went vegan. God.
No.
But to be honest, that's not. I don't know if that's really a healthy option. I'm not saying that through any sort of knowledge of dietary knowledge or anything like that. I just see it from observation. You get like 2 different types. You get the really skinny type of vegan and the really, really chubby, pale-looking vegan, and none of them look incredibly healthy to me.
Yeah, they're not, because they go from ingesting protein to ingesting nothing but vegetables.
Yeah.
Or as I like to call them, vegetable eaters.
Yeah, there's a lot of sugar in those things too. Every recipe I've seen, it relies on a lot of sugar.
Yeah,
to make it
that's another reason. It's like I can eat vegetables, and I like a lot of vegetables, but I don't like a lot of vegetables in the same time. The 3 things that I hate are onions, peppers, and celery. I also do not like my tomatoes, stewed and be like, here's something that looks like, a diced up abortion. Eat it. Fuck no. I'm like, there's a lot that I don't like, and there's, they got to be cooked right, and a lot of people don't know how to, cook them right. I'll steam. If I'm making vegetables, I steam them all. You keep the flavor and the vitamins and minerals.
Yeah,
and stuff.
Yeah, that's right. There's just a lot of brown water if you boil them.
Yeah, it's like no, so
I'm guilty of that. It's a proud British tradition to just boil something till it goes limp, and
Well, that would explain Bristolian Dave.
It hasn't changed.
Poor bugger.
And you drink it with a pint of warm ale.
No, I like my ale cold. I'm not into
Yeah.
I'll drink mead warm, but I won't drink, anything else. Everything else has to be, cold.
Yeah, mead. I don't really actually, I hardly drink these days. I just stopped for. I've been on a health kick for such a long time, but mead is one of those things that the hangovers are just astronomical. Especially when you're drinking Eastern European mead, but it's just extremely good. And
I had some at like a Renaissance fair out here like years ago. The problem is they made the mead, it's got all the honey and everything in it, and like, and they give you like this little cup like this for like $5 US, and the entire hut that was selling it is surrounded by like a swarm of bees and yellow jackets. I am deathly allergic to anything that can sting me. I don't have an EpiPen. I would die. So I'm like, my daughter will go near.
You get what's called anaphylactic shock from
Yeah.
All right.
Woohoo!
Oh fuck. Well, that's not worth it.
I mean, that's not worth it. I might get stung on purpose if Sleepy Joe gets elected to another term, but
I don't think Sleepy Joe's alive anymore, to be honest with you.
It's
deep fake.
It's a deep fake. It's been the Weekend at Bernie's thing for a long time now.
Yeah. Exactly what I thought.
It's like it's been a Weekend at Bernie's thing, and it's actually just Obama's like third term because he's calling all the.
That was his whole thing. I was with Obama, and I'm not Trump, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, I'm not an American. I'm not really British either. I don't really have a horse in the race, but I just can't see myself voting for bloody Biden. It just wouldn't happen.
It was their smear campaign that started a year before the election that Trump won on him. It's like, just in case he wins, let's do all this stuff.
Yeah, but also like just the impeachment stuff carried on for such a long time. I think it lasted for almost the whole duration of his term. There were attempts at impeachment based on all these basic allegations of colluding with Russia, all that stuff. And
and now it's just come out that no, that was actually Hillary.
Yeah, but the whole thing about because it took a while to get Trump out of office. And everybody was like, "Well, can't you accept a result?" But after during that long the tirade, they went on for 3 years.
And then they tried to impeach him again after he was out.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, good, yeah, we've got billions of dollars just laying around for you to waste.
Yeah.
Greetings, Fear Lantern, new subscriber to the channel. Thank you. Welcome. We're here with Chubb, and he is pitching his campaign, Mary Boy's Beefheads, now available on Indiegogo. The link is in the chat.
Let me scroll up again. By the way, Will, what comics do you read? What's your favorite stuff? Let's talk about the comics.
Okay, well, we already know that I like Mike Jimmy's books. Indie stuff I've been liking a lot of the horror stuff.
Yeah.
And I just happen to have some of it handy. I got the Second Chance campaign on Escape or Die from 656 Comics.
Right, I haven't heard of that.
Dead Notes. This is kind of like your compendium, where it's got production, character design, and everything. Uh-huh. And in the back is actually pesticide, a journal from one of the people that actually survived in the book. So it's like anybody from The Walking Dead that would like keep a journal of stuff that was going on in discoveries. It's like that. Dante lives. The day of reckoning is upon us. the boogeyman is real. Plus, they put like, you know, they drew a hand drawn map of, you know, every place they had been to see, you know, what was going on. I also got the exclusive trading card, the bookmark, kind of like
it's a Pal Peralta sort of riff,
clear thing. And I get the variant cover by Preston.
Oh yeah, the good Preston. Oh, nice.
And they're like, "Why'd you buy that cover?" I go, "Because, you know, I know the guy's a murderer and he's got a buzzsaw on his arm, but, you know, you can't fault him for wanting a little head." You know, I like older books. I mean, I had been a diehard Batman fan since like when I was a little kid, like 4 or 5 years old. So like 1974 up, I've been reading and collecting comics and selling my stuff over and over again. I'm getting closer to. I really liked the first iteration of Valiant Comics back in the 90s, and I've gotten a little closer to completion. This is one of the tougher ones to be able to afford, especially, you know, back in the day or even now. It's still got like a little price tag on it, but I got a deal. I got me a Barry Windsor Smith Archer and Armstrong Zero.
Oh, nice. An Englishman.
Yes. I loved Archer and Armstrong. It was so great.
Who's your favorite Conan artist out of Barry and Big John?
That's a tough one. I'd have to say Barry. Barry in the comics. Let's see. I see that. So I'm newish. Mind if I ask? Go right ahead. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Ask away. It makes it interesting. And Big John for the magazines, like the sort of Conan magazines.
The Savage Sword.
Yep, Savage Sword
Fair
magazines.
Enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. That's a good call.
Those were way better than the comics.
But his Conan the Rogue graphic novel has been out of print for ages, but that is probably his best Conan work. Have you read that? Just amazingly good.
I don't have that, but I'm a sucker for things like there'll be like movies made of certain properties that, you know, are like, oh, they made a movie of that, but it's so bad. Yeah. Every time I'm scrolling so both of your creators, I'm a content creator, and, you know, YouTuber and podcaster. So all my shows are available anywhere you can download a podcast after it airs, like within about an hour or so after it airs. But I do some writing, and I'm connecting to a couple of pop culture news sites that I've done a lot of work for. I have not made a book. I usually write scripts and be like, cool, second, third draft, and then I just like delete the folder because I'm never gonna go through the pain of trying to fund a book. I can't do it. My anxiety is too big.
It is difficult. Well, the first time is. Yeah, I'm an art monkey, and I draw and I write things, but only for me to draw. And this is my campaign. Will was friendly, nice enough to invite me on to talk about. It's called Merry Boys. It's about teenage Knights Templar in a broken Britain, and it's strongly influenced by Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The art's influenced by Jack Davis, Will Eisner. Pretty much like your golden age sort of illustration, but it's got a sort of punk aesthetic to it. It's like punk Catholicism almost. I think that's probably how I would describe it.
It's a lot of fun. They've got 4 distinct personalities. They're all a bit loony.
Oh, a little loony. Yeah, they're well, they're all, I guess they're superheroes because they how can I say this? So that they were born with, they don't grow any hair on their bodies. So there's the four brothers. Let me just get a better picture up here. Okay, that's gone there. But let me just. So it's the four brothers. They're quadruplets. They don't grow any hair. They've got cleft palates. You can't see it in this resolution. And when they drink beer, they've got weird metabolism. So when they drink beer, they get stronger and faster. And their mission is to cleanse their town of sin to avoid a biblical apocalypse. Because they were raised by this old priest who had a past life regression, who was a member of the Order of the Knights Templar back in the 1300s. And he's seen all these morbid visions and things, and he basically radicalized these four young kids into being these modern day Templar warriors. And here's a picture of him riding a pig, as you do.
as a crazy priest would do, yes. So the priest is their splinter, and now what are their personalities? I know you said one is kind of like Michelangelo.
I think it goes around the same sort of archetypes, but they are a bit different. They're not if I had to describe them. So the one without the front teeth is Phil, and he's a bit loony, but he's a bit dopey. I wouldn't say he's as smart as Michelangelo or a cool party dude. He's almost like that weird kid in the back of the class who's kind of friendly, but also you'd watch your back around him. William is the one who's basically the most perceptive out of them, and he's the connection with the reader. He will tell you what's going on. He likes poetry and music, and he's the smart kid with a future. Basically,
I've never been told I was the smart kid. Thank you.
and he's also the best. Ironically, he's also the best fighter out of all of them, because I like things to be ironic. Harry is the one with the plasters on his face. He's got a case of eczema, and he's basically like the parental figure out of all of them. Make sure that everybody's okay. He's like the silent, sort of stern stand-in father figure for. I guess he would be the Leonardo, but he's not. He comes across totally. He's more like Vitaly Klitschko than Leonardo. In personality. And in his Chaz, who's got the St. George's Cross tattooed on his forehead, like you saw with a lot of punks and skinheads from the 70s and 80s. I had to figure out ways of making it distinguishable that wasn't too overt. But anyway, he's the troubled young man. I guess he would be the Raphael of the group.
So yeah, that's why he's got the cricket paddle.
Yeah, they were good. That's still And what about the book process? What do you mean, like the creation of it, or the actual printing process? What would you like? Because creative wise, it is basically I come up with a story, I thumbnail it immediately. Once I got enough material together, I letter it. I put it up into InDesign. The only thing I do digitally is the lettering, because it's just too convenient not to do it like that, and it's nice and consistent, because legibility is extremely important to me, and it has to flow correctly. And after I've lettered it, and I'm sure that everything works correctly from a storytelling point of view, then I will move on to the rendering, the final pencils, and then I will do the inks after I make sure that everything is told. Because fundamentally, it has got to tell a story properly. That's like my order of priority: get the story across, and then make it look nice. Basically, what else? Everything is like I said, everything is traditional. It's traditional inks and ink wash. And for the covers, I got myself. If you know old school illustration, like from the 50s and 60s, like my art heroes used watercolors and ink dyes, stuff like Dr. Martens ink dyes, and they would draw their comics with that. And I tracked down a set of colors, and I've been using that for these covers, just to try and recreate that sort of feeling. And yeah, I'm quite happy with. I'd like to do a lot more of this sort of thing specifically.
Yeah, Glenn Fleming's a big proponent of the doing stuff with the colored inks, and
Oh, right.
he's
Okay.
he's always yelling at Rush Leach to that he should hand letter everything himself. And
Oh, that's a bit going too far. Jesus. Everything up to hand lettering.
not the just the sound effects. I think
Sound effects. Yes, I do that.
Like-
it must be part of the artwork.
yeah, it's got to be part of the art. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see. You said you were the artist as well as the writer. How did you convert the story into arcs, pages, panels, etc.? I like that you've done this much work on your book. Yes.
Let's see. The arcs. I've got a couple of arcs I got figured out already, but the smaller details, the actual storytelling process, the way things slot together, working out the beats, that will come when I'm doing the panels, when I'm doing the actual thumbnails. And to me, it's like doing the thumbnails and doing the writing are kind of simpatico. I will write some dialogue and I will draw pictures at the same time. Because to me, the two things are almost inseparable. Something will have to work visually for it to be a proper comic book. I might have a very broad sort of outline script, but then when I want to get to the actual nitty gritty, I find that things just work. They just flow when you do those things together. And what did you say? So yeah, and I'll just take a sheet of paper, and I will start doing the panels, and then I will figure out how those panels will be, how I group them into different pages, because every page has also got to have its focal points. Every page has got to be interesting, and you've got to figure out how to do that visually. So you break that down, and you just granulate the process until you've got what I have before I start any of the penciling is I will actually have like a little comic book with the hand drawn, like the really rough sort of hand drawn characters with very perfunctory sort of lettering, and it would work as a comic book. And from there, I would create this. As first, no, not really, no, not a huge script at all. But the product, as I see as the blueprint for it, would be those thumbnails, and that would be the same size as the actual comic book. And the arcs would just be, they wouldn't be a script, they would just be notes on character motivations, history, things that I need to tell, without going into exposition. That's also something that's incredibly important with comics, I think, is that people don't want to read. I mean, I like reading novels, but it's a totally different field of interest to me than reading comic books. Comic books you have to show. I hate it when it's just pages and pages of dialogues and talking heads. It's got to be interesting. And if you can show something, you've got to show it. You can't just drop somebody's life story in 2 pages. It just takes the reader out of the story completely.
Yeah, it's going to be a little easier for you because you're the artist and the writer. So as you're drawing out the panels, you might make dialogue changes, but it's all going on in your head, because you're a little bit loony from the day job, and and it's happening like real time, and you can hear them talking while you're drawing them on the page.
Yeah, and that's one of the benefits of having the day job too, because when I don't know, your mind goes on when you're like stressed out about something and you're trying to focus. It's like your mind goes on this little sedgeway into the comic book story. You're not supposed to be thinking about this now. You're working on your day job stuff, but something will happen. Things will start crackling. Then you're like, oh, that's a great idea. You pick out your notepad, you write it on a piece of paper, you fold it up, put it in your shirts, and then your shirt goes into the wash.
and then you forget you had the paper there.
How many books? I've done a few. I did a graphic novel with slave labor graphics, if you've ever heard of them, a few years back. There was 175 pages. Then more recently, I gave on comics for a while after that, but more recently I did the first 2 Mary Boys comics, which are also available in this campaign. I self-published those in 2020, and they look like that. these 2 issues are released together. And this campaign's the latest outing, called Beefheads, a collection of 4 short stories with the same characters.
So it's kind of like an anthology with 4 different tales of the same characters.
Yeah.
And the first 2 books are available as an add-on, so you can get all 3 books in the same campaign.
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah, and a lot of people have. I thought everybody who's gonna be interested in getting the first ones would have gotten them by now, but I see a lot of people are jumping on. They're like, oh, I've never seen this before, because a lot of people worry, oh hell, if I get it. That's the problem with all the crowdfunding books, because you can have a continuing storyline if it's a monthly title and you're going to get it. You only have to wait a month before you get the next installment. But a lot of crowdfunding, you don't know if there is going to be another campaign, because very often things happen and then there is no other book and you're left on some sort of cliffhanger. So you got to treat these things like this will be the only book, in a sense. And if it isn't, so you've got to have a satisfying reader experience for every project. That's why I did the first campaign with these 2 comics. That is a whole story, the 2 of them together. I didn't want to break it off and then people wouldn't know what happened until I did the next campaign. I don't think that's fair. I
remember seeing you the first time I saw you was on one of the earlier Crown Cons, and you were talking about this, and I was like, oh, I want to get that. I have no money. I want to get that. I have no money. I want to get that. I have no money. And then I hear through mates of ours that hey, there's a new Mary's Boys campaign coming. I go, there is. I know he's got to have a catch-up tier, and now yet again I have no money. But
I'll have to send you copies anyway.
I'm trying, but it's it's a great campaign. You can get the regular cover for $26. You can get the that's USD. You can get the regular cover for $26 USD. You can get the variant cathedral variant wraparound cover, which is my favorite, for $26 USD. And there is a lager tier where you get both covers, a lager patch that is the brand that they drink, and then there is an ash can that explains a bunch of stuff. It would be the UK to America and other places, translations and explanations. And there's also 3 art prints, one of each of the covers, but in the virgin mode, just the art of each of the covers. And the third one is our friendly priest riding a pig.
Yeah, that's essential. There we go. You should see the reference photo I did of me in the yard on my kid's bicycle with a bottle of wine and a suit on, posing to get a reference for the light, how the light would work.
So you posed on your kid's bike in a suit and a bottle of wine, so somebody could take a picture and you could, transpose that into being the priest.
Kind of, yeah. It's just getting an idea of how the light would fall and just get some sort of stare. But I thought that was funny. I should have. Maybe I'll put that into the making of just for fun.
Oh yeah. He saw Replicator's campaign price breakdown the other night, and it was like, dang, that's higher than I thought it would be. Well, it's easier nowadays more than ever with the internet and various things that have happened to make a comic. It is not easier to make a comic. It is expensive to make a comic. Especially, limited print runs. You don't get that, you don't get that big printer discount like larger publishers or indie creators with big names can get, because you're not selling like 100,000 copies.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
And you're not 100,000 copies because your wife would stab you.
It's like was going to say, oh yes, on my first campaign, I was actually competitive. I was competitive with mainstream comics because it was the graphic novel, it was the digital comics, and it was the actual comics all together. It worked out cheaper than buying Marvel comics. So it worked out. It was just the postage. Yeah.
Hey, Ragin. Hello.
Hello.
I always wondered, what's an ash can? Well, I can show you the size difference, and then Chubb can explain it to you. It's usually like a smaller book like this. Some of them are like actual full-size comic book size, but they're limited number of printings. A lot of ash cans will have, character design art and, like writing and notes and stuff in it.
Yeah. It's almost like a proof of concept.
Yeah. And then, this is a trade, but it's, comic book size. So that'll give you where you can see it's, on a much smaller scale, a lot less pages. Some of them are full color. A lot of them are black and white. And now onto the pro for.
I don't know what he said. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's a shorter comic book. Very often, it's just without the bells and whistles. It's just what people will do is they'll have a smaller. It's a much shorter print run of what it is, on cheaper stock, smaller format, and people were used to when conventions were still a thing for comic books, hand out these things to publishers, to other creators. And that was. I don't know why they called it ash cans. I think it's because you're meant to take it and then read it and then just chuck it in the bin, the trash can, ash can, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I used to see when people would be standing in the aisle like passing out their ash can years ago. That's exactly what would have happened. It's like that they look at it like most people will look at it like a pamphlet. And be like, yeah, and toss it in the nearest trash can. Those are the people that aren't comic book people. They're at the convention to meet the celebrities, and they don't care about anything else. They especially don't care if you created the IP and you're handing them stuff. They still don't care because they only want to meet the Hollywood actor that's a millionaire to give them more of his money, which pisses me off. It
is sad. It is really. I don't go to comic book conventions at all. I don't, because it's completely dominated by stuff I don't care about. Yeah,
like I'd go into some, like the last one I covered was in 2019 before the COOF, and I hung out with Graham Nolan all weekend.
Oh right, okay. Oh, that must be a pleasure.
I get to hang out for about an hour with. Let's see, what's he saying? True, I'm always more attracted to the artist alley. Exactly. Yeah. That's what I did. I hung out in artist alley like the entire weekend. I mean, there were some creators. The way it was set up was weird. It's like two buildings, so there were a few creators that were on the ring of the sports auditorium next door. So I would keep going back to them, probably because we were going outside and smoking some stuff. Not crack pack stuff, just
strippers' money.
weed pack stuff, yeah. But I mean, I got to finally meet Neil Adams.
All right.
And I met him while he was setting up on the while he was still setting up on the Friday, and there were no customers around, asking him questions like, "Why do I have to pay you $50 to sign your own book?"
What's he like? What's he like to speak? I mean, I know that some people are just completely.
It depends what Neil you get. Once the convention's going, he's more than happy to talk to you and regale you with stories about himself, his favorite subject. In the comic book world, he likes to tell how he saved the X-Men from extinction. Because it was about to be canceled. They put him on the book, and next thing you know, boom, the book was saved. It came out of reprints and back in, which is all well and fine, except now they have chemically castrated all the X-Men.
Can't he come back and save them again? Wouldn't that be good?
They don't want him.
No, that's the problem. Like with the greatest creators that Marvel has, just it's almost like they've just you know, like John Byrne, okay, also a very difficult personality, granted, but he's incredibly talented. Every single property that he's touched, he's reinvigorated, reinvented.
But I still think the best Superman story that's not an Elseworlds title, because Red Sun is awesome. He put new blood with his Man of Steel, six issue run, reinvigorated, got rid of the Superman can move the Earth with like one finger out of orbit and back.
Yeah. Got rid of the kookiness from the Silver Age, where Superman Jimmy Olsen would turn into a lion-headed boy, and Superman would have to save him. You know, that really kookiness stuff. That was a good series to pick up to start.
Fear Lantern came from loving the mainstream comics, but now has been heartbroken by how much they've changed, including some of the creators that he liked. That's why we're all here, man.
Yeah,
that's why we're all here on the indie scene. And man, it's just the amount of talent that's on the indie scene right now is freaking amazing.
Bill Willingham is going to be one of us soon.
I hear. I don't have it handy, but his old series Elementals, I just got a few months ago. Remember the naughty cover for issue 1 where Fathom was naked swimming with the dolphin? I just got one of those.
Oh, right.
I was thrilled. Amen to that. Yeah, brother. And it just, I hate what they've done to, my characters. I got a big laugh out of it when they pulled the whole, Batman doesn't eat pussy thing. And I'm like,
it's like, no, come on, it's bad.
They're just, they want to
British, but that was just,
they want to emasculate every male character and make it turn everybody, that identifies with, with the, alphabet army gender letter, or, or just like gender swapping them or whatever. It's like the third Robin is, Red Robin is now, they say he's gay. Now they're saying he's bi. I'm like, no. Look, girls can be bi. Guys can't be bi. if you suck a dick, you're gay. If you're a dude, I'm sorry. It's strength. I've got a brother who's gay, right? I mean, it's not. It happens. I've got like 4 cousins that are gay. Yeah, it's not. It's just. But Robin wasn't written like that originally. No, they're just up and shade. Like even and one of the first ones they did it to was Silver Age Green Lantern. I'm like, what the hell? He's got 2 children. How did he sire 2 children? Very reluctantly, basically. Yeah. No, don't put it in that thing. I'm like, what the hell? But then they carried on in this past year in June, because June's Pride Month. They released a book where they put together a team called Pride, where they got all their gay and lesbian characters all on one team. Yeah. And it's a thing now, and I'm like, you see, at some point I just stopped paying attention to it completely. Like, I just haven't looked back. But from what I remember, though, from the 90s, there were like, did you ever read Peter David's run of the Incredible Hulk? Oh yeah, I've got this new run of the Hulk is the first one I will not be buying since I was a teenager in the 90s. All right. Yeah, I love Peter David. Yeah, he had Ulysses, which was a gay character. Yeah. Nobody stopped and thought, oh hell, there's a gay character, because he was written like that originally. It was organically integrated into the story.
and it made sense. Everything made sense. It was good storytelling, and that's the point that that nobody seems to understand. It's not it's not a quota system. We better start making.
Well, now it is. Everything's going to check their boxes,
Yeah.
so that they can, virtue signal to everybody, on social media. And I'm like, the people you're doing this for don't buy your product.
But they're insulting the intelligence of the readers, because everybody
Yeah.
knows this is it's almost like the industry is on life support. And every time you do something that's outrageous, it's a shot of adrenaline to keep this patient alive, just to get a few more beats out, just to put them back onto it's a defibrillator. Okay, we're gonna kill Superman. Proof. It's been since the death of Superman is basically when I stopped saying, okay, I'm not, because they brought him back. I thought, okay, well, we're going to have a sort of Nietzschean sort of scenario where Superman is dead, but all the other characters step up and they become, they step into his place. It's almost going to be, I had really high expectations, because that was the time of Vertigo. And I thought, okay, they're really going to up the level of the writing now. But no, they just went through the whole reign of the Superman and eventually brought him back with longer hair looking like Spawn. And after that, I was so angry, I wanted to put my foot through the wall.
I actually like that, because I knew right from the beginning, I was working at a comic shop then. So, I knew 3 months down the road, it's like, they're going to do Reign of the Superman. They're going to bring him back. They're not going to kill Superman. He's like the biggest recognizable pop culture figure of all time. And, they're bringing him back, but they're doing it in a way. It's like, that pretty much got put into like a Lazarus pit, and a Kryptonian Lazarus pit. They regened him and he came back. Let's catch up with Fair Lantern. I hate the lazy tokenism.
Yeah, definitely.
That's an Eric July quote. Eric July hates the tokenism too. I'm on board with all his stuff. Make new characters and put in the work. Exactly. They don't want to.
No. It's like
first one was Ultimate Colossus. And the Ultimate Universe, the Ultimate X-Men.
I'm not familiar with that. Yeah, I've got a big gap where my X-Men knowledge is supposed to be. I just never.
I love 90s X-Men, new characters with original female, gay, etc. characters. Yeah. I had no problems. Like, you introduce a character and, and he's gay. I'm like, so what? I don't care. As long as you're not showing gay sex scenes in the book, because
it's for kids. That's there's still kids who read that. So children.
But like, we were talking on another stream, and like, goes, how can we get more kids into comics? I'm like, well, first you lower the prices.
Yeah,
because you show me an 8-year-old that's got $6 to dump on one issue that they're gonna go through in like 5 minutes and be done with.
Exactly.
It's like it's a waste of money to them, because we were talking about it last night. I do a show called OK Boomer with Thomas Hewley from Outright Geekery, and all we do is we go through back issues. We do gold and silver, bronze, and maybe like a little further up from bronze. And we were doing like we were covering DC Comics Presents issue 3. Garcia Lopez art, Superman and Adam Strange, and it was advertised as a 44-page book, but there's like all kinds of ads and everything in it. I go, yeah, it's a 44-page book for 50 cents. That was 32 story pages.
Yeah.
Now they release a 24-page. Now they release like 24 or 28-page book, but you only have 16 story pages.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're basically charging, like, even the ones that are like $5 a piece, if they have any $4.99 books left. So say you buy Batman this month and Batman next month, you basically just paid $10 for one issue of Batman.
Yeah, exactly. And with the decompressed storytelling, the same story that would have been 2 issues is now 10 issues.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been a problem for a very long time.
I mean, I really liked the big epic stories that Jeff Johns told, especially like you know, the whole lantern fiasco.
That was after I stopped reading comic books.
D-Wag! Comics are booming. Yeah, CG
Oh,
comics are booming.
You'll make a lot of money that way. Yeah, that from a British perspective. I mean, okay, not British, but when I grew up in the colonies where we got 2000 AD. With Judge Dredd.
Oh yeah, I love those.
Yeah, it's weekly and it's anthology, so you'll get 5-page stories in a weekly comic, and those used to be 20p, probably about 40 cents American probably back then. With inflation, taking the rate of the Bank of England, that should be about 75p today. For the same thing. A weekly prog now costs you £3.10. That's 4 times as much for the same prog. Kids don't have £3.10 to blow every week on one prog. It just isn't worth. It just is not worth it for the same money. They can get themselves a game or anything else. Or what they can do is wait a few weeks, and you can go buy yourself a nice big few 100-page collected manga. You can get your what was it called? My Academy.
My Hero Academia.
My Hero Academy. It is cheap as chips. It is really cheap, and you can get this thick collection of a complete story. Why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you do that? And they wonder why. That's one key reason why manga is doing so well, and domestic Western comics aren't.
Yeah, because they're pandering to a crowd that doesn't support them. Just like years ago, there was a big protest against all the fast food restaurants like McDonald's. Like, you need to have healthier choices, and they made they were destroying them online, they're cancel culture is to anybody that doesn't agree with them now. And so they started having salads. I'm like, anybody eating a salad is not going to McDonald's to buy a salad.
True.
Going to McDonald's to buy a salad is like hiring a hooker for a kiss. Yeah, for a kiss or a hug. Yeah.
Great minds. I had exactly the same analogy I wanted to drop right there, and you got to it before me.
Sounds like some Danny shit. Well, fuck Danny D-Wag. I'm lost on manga. I used to hate them, but now it seems to be good.
It depends on what you read. There's so much of it. I mean, I like the 90s. I love Akira, and I love Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah.
I think those are awesome examples of manga.
Yeah, I've got somewhere. I've got a whole bunch of the early issues of Akira that Marvel did from Epic, like the square bound ones, the prestige format ones, which apparently some of them are going for a lot of money now. I bought a manga hardcover of Captain Harlock because it's Captain Harlock.
Oh yeah.
So I got Captain.
I remember the anime. Yeah, with the big skull on his chest. Yeah.
Fuck salad, fuck Danny, McDoubles, and McChickens, fuck the world. Crack pack every day, bow. But it's Captain Harlock, something that I've enjoyed watching as a kid, on as a cartoon in the afternoon and everything. And it was a hardcover. It's that fat. And
as the kids say.
Yeah. And man, it's about 175 pages, and it's the smaller compressed the manga size, but I got it for $20, and I love hardcovers. I'm sorry. And I saw it in an online live auction, so I got that. I've got 4 books on my bed that I'm reading. One is for next week's episode of OK Boomer. It's Shogun Warriors number 19, where they have the Fantastic Four guest star in it. So I guess that was when the series really started going downhill, because we had to have guest stars. And then I've got 2 indie trades, part of the same universe, but two different stories. I'm reading both of those, and every once in a while I'll read like, another chapter out of Harlock or something. And, then I'm when I'm out here, I'm reading the 656 book. I've got another like samurai indie book that's like the third part of a story. And I've been reading Cult of Dracula.
Right. I've never heard of that.
It's really good. I really enjoy it. It's by a guy named Rich Davis. It's already been opted for a film.
Mm-hmm.
Vampire
books are big now.
Oh yeah, it's a trilogy. So it's the 6 issues Cult of Dracula, and they just put a Kickstarter up that has the hardcover, the complete hardcover available for it, for like $30 if you miss the issues. And I'm just peeking the next 6 issues is going to be Rise of Dracula. And then there's the third arc. And after the arc, like a few months after the arc's done, him and Source Point launch a Kickstarter to put out the collected hardcover.
Right. Is it based on the Bram Stoker novel? Or
no, it's his own. Of course, it's based on Bram Stoker a little bit because it's Dracula, but it's his version, more like a modern day. And this is the I still have to read this. This is the last part of Swords and Solace by Connor Bartel and Elon. And I always get the sketchbook edition. And it's a wraparound cover.
Oh yeah.
So it's all really nice black and white artwork inside.
A bit like Lone Wolf and Cub vibes.
Yeah, it does. That's why I got into it like really big. And the artist is from Turkey, and everything is pencil, ink, and ink wash. And then
Bless him.
and then you get to the back. You're familiar with pages that look like this while you're doing your project, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So it's got it's got various art like layouts, and the some of them are more done than others. There's some other pinups in here that the artist has done.
Yeah.
I just thought it was cool. And I like that page.
Yeah.
I mean, he's really talented, and there's a whole bunch of pinups and some other stuff that he's worked on, before. So the first one I got actually had the the sketchbook, but there wasn't like a lot of material, so they actually put like the full script in the back with some illustrations, like one page here, here, and the next page, would actually have the script, so you could just read the straight out script. So it was pretty cool.
It makes me think of the ultimate, like Batman Year One with David Mazzucchelli.
Oh yeah.
They did like a version of that where they had the script and it had the thumbnails and everything next to it, and that's like a master class in doing comic books. It's amazing. Yeah.
The art style gets me. I was more of a Jim Lee style fan, but don't get me started on him. The corporate shill of DC Comics.
Yeah,
he's in the big office collecting the big check. He's the over here in the States. I would refer to him as the White House press correspondent, Jen Psaki there, who I call Peppermint Patty. He is the Peppermint Patty of DC Comics.
But to be honest with you, straight up, I can recognize that Jim Lee is really good at that art style. But my favorite illustrator from the mainstream 90s comics is now part of CG. Dale Keown. To me that was just like he is to me just the best out of that whole crop. He's better than Farlane. He's definitely better than Liefeld. He's better than even Jim Lee, and nobody does it better than that. He's running Hulk and the Pit comic books.
Mm-hmm.
Incredibly good.
I mean,
Very, very good.
they went back and did because Marvel did like a throwback, like on a bunch of their stuff, like Black Suit Spider-Man and Hulk, and they brought it back, I guess like a fill-in story or something from Peter David and Dale Keown's run, and I can't even remember what they called the book. I think they did like 2 different ones. And
did they? Okay, I wasn't aware of that.
I know there's at least one by them, and there might be another one by somebody else. I can't quite remember right now. But Peter David and Dale Keown came back together and did another Hulk issue like last year.
Oh, right.
And did it from like that arc, where he was in the Papillon, and where the Thunderbirds came from and all that. And I just found my copy of the first appearance of Thunderbirds and Hulk about a month ago, and I'm like, I looked up the price and I was like, whoa, I might buy a reprint of this and just sell the original. Because I don't care.
So they're actually worth more, because I had all of them, but I lost those comics years ago when we got burgled. But
I mean, any book that'll sell for like $50 and up, I'm like, get rid of it.
Well, you want to read it.
Well, I read it already,
Yeah.
But like I had no interest in the new Miss Marvel, the Kamala Khan, who does the Bugs Bunny, blows in this thumb, this hand gets big, and she slaps people.
I've never read it before.
I grabbed her first appearance just for shits and giggles to check it out, because I was collecting the Carol Danvers Miss Marvel at the time.
All right.
And I'm like, okay, it's not great, it's not good, but it's not the worst thing Marvel's putting out. So, I'll check it out. And it ended up being like a big money book. And I had already read and thoroughly enjoyed the Jason Aaron run on Thor, where the God Slayers came from and everything. I sold all the issues of Thor, of Jason Aaron Thor, that I had on me. The Kamala Khan one, and the new Hulk that they were doing that just finished, the zombie, the zombie Hulk thing, and they released a special connecting cover of Hulk 1, Thor 1, and Iron Man 1 at the time. I sold that whole collecting set to him, so I sold all of those, and that's where I got the money to buy into Mavericks Volume 1 campaign. And speaking of which, I should play the trailer for Mavericks Volume 1 really quick.
Go for it.
War is a topic of vital importance, a subject of inquiry that cannot be ignored. It is a matter of life and death. It can be a road to safety or to ruin.
In an alternate version of our world, brought to the brink of total collapse, rival nations fight for global domination, and elite pilots in futuristic combat suits wage war on the battlefield of tomorrow. Now, 6 brave soldiers on a seemingly routine rescue mission will encounter more than they bargained for and uncover a dangerous secret that could change their world if they live long enough to see it. Mavericks Origins Volume 1.
Now on Indiegogo.
Now on Indiegogo, in demand only. There's also a Kickstarter that might have a couple of days left If you like cosplay, check out the Kickstarter. There is an exclusive Autumn Ivy cosplay calendar from Mavericks available only on the Kickstarter. So go check it out. For more information, just go to Twitter and go to @GlobalFreak FREQ, and the links will be right there on their profile. And Fear Lantern says, I know, right? It's why I follow EVS and the guys over there. I still keep up with David Finch, but I have lost track of Ed Bennis. I was liking their work, but someone mentioned the big companies may have been paying them less.
Mm. That's why they're going to Substack. Well, people are going to Substack now.
Yeah, because they see the crash of the other two.
Yeah.
I swear I haven't seen a bad trailer in CG campaigns.
Should have seen my first one. That was terrible.
Well, just look at the one on this campaign. Don't look at that one.
Yeah.
This one was very, very well put together.
Like I said, for people to keep up with the Joneses, everybody's got to produce better artwork, better stories, better trailers, better everything.
Yeah. The one thing that irks me when I look at a campaign is if the trailer is the creator just talking about himself in the book. You know, it's like, we don't need that. There's like 1,000,001 shows like this where people can get on the YouTube casts or the podcasts and you know tell you more than they can in like, you know, a 90-second trailer. Either that or trailers with just music and no narration.
You gotta have something. But the best comics, I found that the most successful comics, the best stories are the types that you can sum up. You can sum up the entire premise and plot in one sentence.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't do that, then you might have a problem.
Yeah, you need to narrow down that elevator pitch.
Yeah, very as narrow as possible. If you get the essence of it down to 1-2 sentences tops.
Mm-hmm.
They're like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You got the entire premise in the title. It's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Don't get better than that. Perfect delivery, perfect immediate intrigue.
Yeah, it's like, what's the book about? He goes, well, it's about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
And you're like, what?
Oh.
I got to read this because it sounds off the wall.
I am still kicking myself in the pants because I was a mainstream guy, you know, up until like the last couple of years now. I've always liked indie comics, so I bought both. I would go into the shop and I'd buy one of everything off the shelf. I didn't care. Now I have no money. I care. But I remember when that book came out, I'm like, that's stupid. And now I'm like, you're an idiot. That book is worth a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
I said on Bancroft's show the other night, all they need is to mimic the successful salesman in CG. You can see Shane doing it a little with EVS. Yeah.
That's right. That's my big problem. I'm very bad at selling stuff.
Although it was funny because last night Bancroft played part of the stream back where EVS was doing salutes to everybody on the panel, like, you know, raising a glass and everything. So of course Bancroft played it because Bancroft was on it, and he said very nice things about Bancroft. But Replicant was way down the bottom underneath Shane. And you could see him, like Bancroft said, like his mohawk kind of like perked up, like his mohawk got like an erection. And he was getting like smiley and all excited. And he slammed Rob right there. He slammed Rob so bad. He's like, oh, Replicant Rob, I didn't even know you were here.
Oh.
It was great. I almost needed to get some oxygen for that one because I was running out just laughing so hard. But you know, I've been on EBS. The night after the last debate, that he did, and afterwards he invited various people in. Here's the link. If you want to come in, I'll let you come in. You can give your quick thoughts, and boom. But all the regulars would like walk over everybody else, so you didn't get to really say anything. So I was on there. I didn't even show my face. It was just my logo. But at one point, my logo was right underneath EBS. I have clipped that so many times and and just used it as like my story for the day or something. Put some great music behind it. Vanessa was on. Couple of EBS's, like real life creator friends. Avasi V from was on there too, and we were on like at the same time. Pops hooked me up. He goes, "I'll say I never gave you nothing," because he sent me a picture of him on there.
Yeah, I saw that.
It was EBS, Dojo Kun, and Pops, and I'm like, wow, I didn't know you knew how to do friggin' Photoshop. No, I'm really there. Hey, Doc, how are you, sir?
Hey.
Hail to the chat. Yeah, it was a lot of fun for like the 5 minutes it lasted. Pops was trying to coach me like in my DMs like every 3 seconds. He's like, if he asks you what you thought of it, tell him that, because I wasn't watching it, I was streaming. You're doing okay, man. Doing okay.
Very good. Very good. It's Friday. It's Friday. It's
Friday.
evening already.
He goes, if he asks you, tell him the other guy was a bitch and you held yourself with poise and blah, 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 blah. 3 seconds later, he's like, shut up. Don't say anything. You might last longer on the panel. I'm like, okay.
It is high pressure on his shows because it's tightly regimented.
Oh yeah.
He keeps. That's why it's popular, I think, because he keeps he orchestrates it almost like he's a conductor. He's got his material that he'll drop in from time to time, and then he will lead the flow of the conversation. Sometimes he'll let people run off on their own, and then he'll pull it back and put it back into a certain direction. And it's difficult. It's difficult to do that. What does Phil Latin say? Another question. When did you decide your art was at the point where you were like, I'm drawing a book? I've seen others who don't draw their own. I think I was drawing them before my art was, there. I think you just have to keep. You have to just do it. You got to do it. You have to accept that you're going to be doing a lot of like I did. I did a lot of really bad art for the longest time until you get all those bad pages out, and eventually, you start getting stuff that is worthy of publishing, I guess. Like with animators, they say every animator's got, when they were still doing the hand drawn keyframes, is that every animator's got like 10,000 crap drawings and they've got to get out, and the sooner you get it out, the better. So you just got to constantly draw. You got to constantly do it, but you also got to do it in a way that you are consciously improving. It doesn't help making the same mistakes over and over again. I don't know. Whatever the answer is, I think I probably started doing it before. I thought, like right now, I'd be looking back and going, I should have practiced more. But the truth is, you just gotta start, and you gotta keep going. And when you fall, you gotta get back up.
Yeah, you gotta draw every day and keep pushing. Doc saying, been drawing these two old dudes into my book today. Thought I'd take a break and watch. The two old dudes is Pops and myself. So I'm gonna be in a comic book for the first time ever. Pops is gonna be in a comic book for like the 50th time or something ridiculous.
He's got a lot of drawings of himself on CromCon. I've noticed.
Oh, look at me! I'm in another comic. I'm on a cover. I'm here. They made me Odin. I'm like, oh.
It's a swimsuit edition.
I go, they killed Odin. But yeah, so it's very cool. Doc's actually going to, when I have the money to buy the supplies, Doc and I are going to do a show, and he's going to teach me in one lesson how to oil paint.
Okay. Well, you can teach me too then. Is it?
Okay, well, I'll let you know when it's going on, and we'll invite you. We'll invite you. I'll send you the info. I'll copy and paste it and send it to you.
Yeah, it's something I could never crack.
Drop them.
What are we dropping? Oh, links. Oh, you got to have. Yeah. I think mine's just Mary Boys 1, MARYBOYS, and then number 1.
Here is the campaign link again.
Thank you.
No, it's Mary Heads Beefheads 2.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant the link, the Twitter handle. Yeah, that's the campaign link. Throwback Studio says acrylic, not oil. Yeah.
Acrylic. Oh, acrylic is terrible to use, isn't it?
It's easier than oil. Yeah.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then fine. I'm good. I sent you some
More forgiving.
List Will on DMs. Yes, I got it. I just don't have any money right now. Again, big surprise. Let me see.
Yeah, acrylic is like on my list to get better at. Where it's a different way of painting. Like the stuff I do, like what I've done for this campaign, it's preserving light and going darker. Acrylic is just the other way around. We start dark and you work your way back up. Yeah, no,
acrylic will do anything oil will do. Okay.
Yeah, it's just that it dries quickly, so that, if you do, you can go over it with oil. It just stays fluid for such a long time that you got to live with your mistakes for a long time until it settles. And then
there's Chubb's handle.
There we go.
And mine. You already follow me, but I've had that since 2000. I've had Joker fans since 2008. I thought about switching it over to Creators Outlet. I'm like, no, I'll just keep that.
You would before the Joker movie, yeah,
long before the Joker movie. I mean, if I was thinking of a handle for Twitter when they released the Harley Quinn movie with Jared Leto as the Joker.
Oh, yeah.
It would have been something like, I would have changed my name to Fuck Danny or something. Fuck Leto,
I never watched it, but I saw the clips where it was Ham acting the Joker. It was terrible.
Oh, it's like, well, it's supposed to be a Martin Joker. He goes, it's not the Joker. Joker wouldn't do something as stupid as tattoo his face. Cut his face off, yes, but tattoo his face, no. That's just stupid. And then putting a smiley face tattoo on the back of his hand so you can go like this. I'm like, get out of here.
Yeah, it was just the acting. It was like Macaulay Culkin on drugs. It wasn't good.
Macaulay Culkin's ever been off drugs? What?
As a kid on drugs when people are trying to break into his house.
Oh yeah, it's like that movie's good though. I just like watching the guys get hit with all the homemade traps.
Yeah, that's true. That is a classic.
But after that, he does look like somebody that might be in the drug trade now, because he's just like a mess.
There's a movie he did called Party Monster. I think it was in the 2006, 2005, something like that. I kind of enjoyed that, but that was very, very. It was like everything around club culture, lots of drugs and techno music and stuff.
Oh yeah, well I know everything around that. I spent 30 years doing it. Didn't like it all, but enjoyed the movie. Oh, I hated the whole version because they could have gotten him to play it like Ledger. Well, he's not a good enough actor to play it like Ledger. But I do remember the joke. Why did Ledger have to die? Why couldn't it be Leto?
What I want to see, I'd love to see a Batman movie in the same universe as that Joker movie, the one with Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
Like, I'd love to see that. That would be a completely different mindset.
Oh, I really can't stand Robert De Niro. Because all he's done, even though Trump's even not in office, he'll still go up to a mic at a thing and fuck Trump, fuck this one, fuck that one. I'm like, really, Robert? You're not one of the characters you play, okay?
Yeah.
So
when did we start listening to actors? Was it?
I know.
Was it when Reagan got into power? Was it?
It might have been. But the I have rewound the movie, brought it back to a certain point, and just rewatched the whole scene with him with Joaquin Phoenix blowing away Robert De Niro multiple times. I'm like, why do you keep going to that scene, Dad? I'm like, a lot of action.
Makes me happy.
Mm-hmm. I hated that whole version. Oh yeah, we did that one. Yes, Reagan. Shake my head, laugh out loud.
I've always wondered what SMH actually meant. Yeah, okay, but if TWSMH, okay, I've learned some internet stuff today.
So I never knew what SMH was either. I'm like, Shmee? What? And I had to ask my daughter one time and go, what does SMH stand for? He goes, duh, Dad, shake my head. I'm like,
I know what FML stands for.
Mm-hmm. I know what a lot of the bad ones stand for. And but now the modern culture, instead of saying, you'd be like, LOL, now instead of actually laughing, they just go, lol.
I do that. I'm guilty of that.
I'm like, Smurf through me.
What is that?
A Smurf through you? What?
Jeez, were you high?
High
in the woods, in the Belgian woods?
Nope, not at all.
What does it stand for? SMMFF? It sounds...
I don't know what that stands for.
MF might stand for motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
Motherfucking high.
Shake my motherfucking head. But
I don't know.
All right, well, dude, I want to thank you for coming and hey, I was right. Holy crap.
All right.
Wow. Wild guess out of left field. Why don't you do your final pitch out on this, and we will wrap this up. I know it's getting late over there, and the sun's going down here. I'm like, oh, we've been talking for how long? Wow.
It's all right. I don't get to socialize anymore, so going on to streams and stuff is hard.
So this is a treat.
Yeah, no, seriously, my life is when you become a family man, it's literally
I know. I got you.
Work and home and nothing else. I don't do anything else. This is my downtime.
You're welcome, dude. Glad to see you pop into a stream. Usually my streams run later, but when I do anybody from overseas, well, that didn't come out right. When I interview or talk to anybody from overseas, I usually try to do it around 3:00 in the afternoon because of the time difference.
That's very cool of you, by the way, because it's really difficult. Getting onto people's streams, and sometimes they're not always flexible with their times because they've got jobs and everything too. Mm-hmm. So, you got to try and fit in.
I'm just a little crippled guy at home that can't work anymore because of all his medical issues. So
still appreciate the hell out of it.
Definitely. Oh yeah, welcome. It lets me talk to more people. I don't really socialize either. I get letters from my lady a couple of times a week because she's out. She's in the Army, so I'm like, just waiting for her tour to wrap up and come see me. So I'm like, oh.
Shit, she's not stuck in Kabul. Shit.
No. Oh,
Bloody hell.
what was today? Today was abandoned in Afghanistan, day 39. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. So I interrupted your final pitch out here again.
Oh, just gonna say, so basically it's a follow-on from the first campaign, but you don't have to have read the first comic to enjoy this, because it contains 4 self-contained stories featuring the teenage Knights Templar and Father Michael Parrish, bringing in salvation the hard way in a very broken Britain is for fans of the Goon, Tank Girl, Judge Dredd, and all the irreverent comics from the 90s that you don't see anymore. And back it. I'll be very happy if you support this, so we can keep making these comic books and keeping them independent. And here's the first comic in the series, which is the complete origin story of the Merry Boys, and that you can get that on the campaign, as I said, as an add-on. So, and don't forget, we've got a stretch goal. When we hit 10,000, everybody gets this sticker with the Merry Boys crest. So
yes,
something to work towards.
Yeah, so get on this. The link is in the chat. It's also in the show notes up above or down below, depending on where you're watching us. We want to thank everybody for coming in the chat and being engaging. Fair Lantern, thank you so much for coming in and checking this out.
Thank you.
D-Wag, Rage at ABC, Doc. We have anybody?
Bristolian Dave is long gone.
Yeah, fuck Bristolian Dave. I think Bristolian Dave is Danny, so fuck Bristolian Dave. But we'll thank him for being a bollocks. Earlier on, Rage at ABC for popping in. Thank you. 24 Eyes, George, and anybody else. Quite a good stuff. Comic Skater. Quite a active chat today. I was happy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So thank you, everybody. Go check this out. Make sure you follow Chubb on Twitter, and his chat handle is down there somewhere. Down the bottom. There it is. Where is it? There it is. Oh. At MaryBoys1 on Twitter. Give him a follow, and once you follow him, you'll see his page, and you'll be able to just hit the IGG link, short link from there. Go right to the campaign and get you some Merry Boys. And if you really like the idea, you can hit that add-on button and get everything that he's got from Merry Boys. So you'd get 3 books by getting that add-on, because the first 2 books were connected. So go check it out. And we want to thank everybody once again. Chubb, it's been awesome hanging with you.
Thank you, Will.
And we hope this gets up past the 10K, because I know everybody's going to want that. Sticker.
Yeah, it's going to be nice and large format. Something to put on the Humvee.
Put it on the Humvee. Stick it on a wall.
Next to the NRA sticker and the and the Hooters sticker, Merry Boy sticker can
and next to the hashtag I stand with Gina Carano. Put the Merry Boys thing, because if Disney fires her one more time, we're gonna send the Merry Boys in.
Yeah, definitely.
For fuck's sake.
All right. Okay.
So thank you once again. We're out of here. Don't forget, this will be up and available to download and listen to anywhere you get your podcasts. I always share out the Spotify link, so check it out. And I will tag MaryBoys1 when I stop posting it, so everybody can see it and download or listen to it if they missed today's episode. Everybody have a great night. We'll talk to you later.